Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 3 in the book of Philemon. Today is going to be a story about the runaway bunny. Today is Who is the Runaway Bunny? Margaret Wise Brown wrote a beautiful book about a little bunny, and it runs away from its mother, and it's that the mother pursues and wins by persistent and wise caring this runaway bunny. And that's what our story is going to be today. Is we have Onesimus, who superficially is the runaway bunny in this story, and then Philemon, who is his either slave owner or bondservant master, has to discover that he is actually the runaway bunny, and that changes everything. So here's the backstory. We're in the book of Philemon. It only has one chapter. The backstory is that Onesimus has done something to offend Philemon. He's broken their work relationship. Some people say he may have stolen something. He's violated the relationship. And both of these people are known and beloved by Paul. They're both from Colossae, but one of them, Onesimus, is 1,000 miles started, at least 1,000 miles away in Rome. Paul meets him in Rome. He becomes a believer, and then Paul sends him back. So Paul's goal is to use his soft power, not a command, to get Philemon to do the right thing and treat him as Christ treated him, that is, as a runaway bunny. All right, so complicating matter is this bondservant relationship. So bondservant is a voluntary, lifelong servitude. So a person puts himself under that servitude. A slave is the involuntary, lifelong servant. This person, Onesimus, at least in the Greek, is a bondservant and has done this voluntarily and then broke that relationship. It doesn't really matter for the story. All right, so read with me. This is from Philemon. I'm going to start in verse 10. I appeal to you for my child. This is Paul talking. I appeal to you for my child, Onesimus. He's the bondservant, whose father I became in my imprisonment. Formerly he was useless to you, but now he is indeed useful to you and to me. I am sending him back to you, sending my very heart. Verse 13. I would have been glad to keep him with me in order that he might serve me on your behalf during my imprisonment for the gospel. But I preferred to do nothing without your consent, in order that your goodness might not be by compulsion, but of your own accord. For this, perhaps, is why he was parted to you for a while, that you might have him back forever, not as a slave, but more than a slave, as a beloved brother, especially to me. But how much more to you, both in flesh and in the Lord. So if you consider me your partner, receive him as you would receive me. So Paul is trying to use his soft power. I am seeking your consent. That is, I want you to see who the runaway bunny is here, and I want you to treat the runaway bunny in a particular matter, not under compulsion, but because you've changed your heart, you've changed your mind, you agree with your mind, which is in agreement with me. So I want you to, verse 15 says, I want you to have him back. I want you to restore the relationship, but not the same relationship. I want you to have a new relationship with this runaway bunny, not as a slave, not as a bondservant. I want you, so he's really going to turn the entire society upside down here. He say, I want you to change the social structure. I want you to change the economic structure of the world. We're still working on it. We're a lot further than we were 2,000 years ago, but we're still not all the way there. So Christianity, the reality of Christ in you, is going to change everything. It's going to change the way you do business. It's going to change your relationships. It's going to change your economic thing. So the mic drop here is I want you to have him forever as a beloved brother. So think about there's 3 people here, and each one has a relationship with the other. So Onesimus has ran away as a slave or as a bondservant, and then became a beloved brother of Paul. So Onesimus was the runaway bunny, and Paul received him back as the sort of the mother bunny, and became a beloved brother with him, became family with him, restored relationship with him. And what Paul is asking Philemon to do is have that same koinonia relationship, that beloved brother, that I want you to have the runaway bunny back. So if you're Philemon, you're saying, why in the world would I do this? Why would I want to receive this runaway bunny back? Well, why would I want to change the social structure? Why would I want to change the financial outcome? Why would I want to take an economic hit? Why would I do this for non-economic gain? Well, verse 17, Paul says, if you consider me your partner, that is, if I've received you as when you were a runaway bunny, and I received you as a beloved brother, and kind of by extension, when Jesus received you as the runaway bunny, if we're brothers and partners, that is, you were my runaway bunny, you were God's runaway bunny, and now Onesimus is that runaway bunny. You should receive him as we received you, as the Lord received you, and as I received you. So that's what it is to be in the body of Christ. So who comes to the Lord? Well, it's the undeserving, it's the unforgiven, it's the unwashed, it's the spiritually poor, it's the runaway bunnies. Those are the people that the Lord pursues and welcomes back into his kingdom. So that's what Christ did for you, is while we were yet sinners, that's Romans 5:8. That's the kind of the description verse of today. Nobody gets saved while they're shiny and bright. People get saved when they're the runaway bunny, when they're, the unwashed and the unforgiven. And so what Paul is asking back in verse 6, I didn't read that yet. He says, I pray that the sharing of your faith, that the koinonia, the receiving of the runaway bunnies, if you will, that because you are a runaway bunny that has been received, that you become active, you become productive. That is, your faith has an effect. If you have a fellowship with Christ, if you have a fellowship with me, I want you to put your money where your mouth is, that is. So I want the reality of your koinonia, your restoring in fellowship, your runaway bunniness with me and with Jesus. I want it to produce something. So koinonia, of course, is expensive. It's costly. It's sacrificial. It was when Christ did it, and it was when I attached myself to you. So just like you did when you were Jesus's runaway bunny, I want you to receive this guy as your runaway bunny. So who is the runaway bunny in the story? For sure, Onesimus is the runaway bunny. What Paul is trying to get Philemon to do is to understand that he is the runaway bunny, aren't we all? Thanks for listening.